Coach Dev Academy. This is Suellio Almeida. We're going to sim my lap with the Porsche Cup at Hockenheim National A. We're going to see the entire lap and then we're going to talk about corner by corner. Now, talking about corner by corner, first thing we need to do here is prepare in advance the positioning and angle for the next corner. It's very common for people to actually come from the middle to the outside here and do the braking with the car pointing a little bit to the outside. Do not do that. Try to do the line in advance so you can be at least parallel when you started braking. Look at that. I'm using even like touching a little bit of the dirt here. You can see it's flying because I am thinking about having the car aligned as much as possible. Then we brake, we turn in. We want to use a little bit of this inside curb here, not too much. You can see I'm just like using a little bit of it. You can try using more, but you will see that the car will be a little bit upset by it. Just experiment how much you want to use, but make sure that here on entry you prepare the corner correctly. That's gonna make a bigger difference. Also on the exit here, what you want to do is you want to have the center of the car still on the curb, on the blue and white curb. So as you can see, I was pretty much on the limit here because at this point my car is very much aligned to the very edge. If I was a little bit more to the left, I would get an off track. I mean a little bit more, I would get an off track there. Then we go to the next corner, and on the beginning of the brakes we will be able to brake harder than later, because on the beginning we have a little compression, so we can brake harder on the beginning, but then as we get deeper into the corner the compression is over and then we're going flat, slightly up, just a little bit. I'm talking about very subtle changes, but it is going to affect the way we should brake. So instead of braking very hard and maintaining, I brake hard and then I go down a little bit, like 3 to 5%, and then I keep it there. It's a very slight detail, but it makes a difference. It makes you brake just a little bit later. Brake hard and less. And then on entry, we even actually have a little bit of a crest, so we start falling just a little bit, and you gotta be careful not to carry too much brakes into the corner, because as soon as you do that, and the car gets light on that very subtle crest, well, the car will actually feel the difference, and you're gonna lock up the front tires, or even spin if you lock up the rear tires. So careful, don't carry too much rear braking. But then still, I'm talking about releasing from 80 to say 50% a little bit more quickly when you turn in, but you still have to kind of carry the trail brake anyways. So as you can see, I'm still braking to around 15%, 15 to 20% here, and I carry that. My minimum brakes right before I get back on power, there's like a 1/10 of a second of no overlap there, is around between 5 and 10%. So it's still, you know, I'm still trail braking. I'm just paying attention to that very subtle dents of elevation changes on the beginning of the brakes, and then mid brake, and then on the trail braking where the car is falling a little bit and you feel the car getting light and it's easier to lock up the tires. We're gonna bring the car all the way to the sausage here. We get back on power, and we don't want to bring the car too early to the outside. We want to keep, let's say, 3/4 here to the left, because we will change direction quite quickly and try to aim for a little bit of this green here. If you miss it, it's okay, but you really want to have this extra room so you can do this flat out. Otherwise, you won't be able to, if you go all the way to the outside, you cannot do the left-hander flat out and you lose a lot of time. And well, we have the longest straight on the track here, so it's definitely necessary to really nail this exit. And we allow the car to go to the outside. There is the curb here, so use it if you're trying too much to stay on the inside of the track. You may get oversteer, and this is not cool. Now, here into this corner, it is a scary, weird layout that we almost never use. After some practice, I figured out it's a very, very aggressive double apex. And we have this little sausage here. We actually have a little bit tighter second apex than the first one. So what we want to do is we want to throw the car into the corner pretty deep. So we're going to trail brake, and we wait. The car goes very wide here, very, very wide, you see? And I'm still like rotating a lot here. And then when I get back on power, we are almost touching that red curb there. So as you can see, it's a lot of patience, and you need to carry that extra speed into the corner so that the car itself pushes away to the outside, and then you come back and launch to a good exit. It's a very, very, very aggressive double apex corner. And we're going to brake peak pressure more or less at the beginning of the curve here. Maybe a little bit before that. And then already kind of like starting the trail braking into the corner. You want to make the car rotate as much as possible, Lots of trail braking, absolutely no coasting with this car. If you guys are using 0% brakes and 0% throttle, you are under the limit. You need to be on the brakes at all times, unless you're on the throttle. Then back on power, allow the car to run wide, but not that much, because you need the car coming back to the left to prepare the next corner. So I bring the car as much as possible to the left, and then I change direction immediately. There's absolutely no time to go straight in between these two corners. Change direction, you lift a little bit to make the car point more, and then as soon as you realize that the car is going all the way to the outside, you squeeze the throttle back. And on the exit here, there is a little bit of a tilting to the outside off camber, so the car has a little bit less curve. We're going to need to correct a little bit, and it's totally fine to slowly use the sausage curve here. Then for the next corner, we definitely need to be as close as possible to the wall. We start braking, but not on a straight line. We brake, and then we are immediately trail braking, bringing the car to the inside here. We want to have the car on the green, and then get back on power and allow the car to also flow all the way to the green here. It's a little bit bouncy, but it's fine as long as you don't get on the dirt. And then back to this corner here, we're gonna brake hard and make sure there's a little bump here, just a tiny bump right before you start turning in. So make sure you're not trail braking too hard, because as soon as you get on the bump, it's easy to lock up the front tires. So make sure you're very, very patient with the trail braking. This is definitely a double apex. So you're gonna go first apex, and then you're kind of drifting out a little bit. Now coming back, imaginary apex, we get back on power and we come back a little bit. As you can see on this one, I didn't come back enough, but I still got a very, very good exit. And now I'm going to use that green, which is a little bit scary. You just need to make sure when you land on the green, you see the car wants to kind of fall a little bit to the outside. Just make sure that is always going to happen, so you kind of prepare yourself to deal with it. Then we want to bring the car as much as possible, as close as possible to the dirt here, and then we keep bringing the car to the left. We keep bringing the car to the left. We keep bringing the car to the left. You see, I don't want to use too much. I want to attack too much this yellow inside here, and then we are already kind of braking into the double right towards the end. I didn't have enough time to go all the way to the outside, but I'm already trail braking and trying to carry as much speed as possible into this corner. And then what we're gonna do here is we're gonna accelerate early, quite early, to allow the car to go all the way to the outside where the off-track limit in between these two corners is. And that is when the center of the car is going to the left of the sausage. So again, I'm pretty much on the limit here. An inch more to the left would give me an off track. but that is the best position the car has to be, because you really need to open up that for the last corner, and the better exit you have on the last corner, you will gain time on this lap, and you will also prepare a better next lap. So this is very, very important corner exit to have. And as you can see here on the inside, I'm using all the green, then just controlling the throttle a little bit here and there, and using all the green on the outside as well. So that is it. Lap time is 1:24.6. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you next week. Bye.